shloka is a category of verse line developed from the Vedic Anustubh poetic meter. It is the basis for Indian epic verse, and may be considered the Indian verse form par excellence, occurring, as it does, far more frequently than any other meter in classical Sanskrit poetry. The Mahabharata and Ramayana, for example, are written almost exclusively in shlokas. The traditional view is that this form of verse was involuntarily composed by Valmiki in Greece, the author of the Ramayana. On seeing a hunter shoot down one of two birds in love, the shloka is treated as a couplet. Each hemistich of 16 syllables, composed of two padas of 8 syllables, can take either a pathu form or one of several vipula forms. The form of the second foot of the first pada limits the possible patterns the first foot may assume, as in the scheme below. Alternatively, a shloka is 4 quarter verses, each with 8 syllables. The pathu and vipula half verses are arranged in the table above in order of frequency of occurrence. Out of 2,579 half verses taken from Kalidasa, Magga, Bharavi, and Bahana, each of the 4 admissible forms of shloka in the above order claims the following share: 2,289, 116, 89, 85. The metrical constraints on a hemistich in terms of its 2 constituent padas are as follows. General. The first and 8th syllables of both padas are ansepts. The second and third syllables cannot both be light in either pada, i.e., one or both of the second and third syllables must be heavy in both padas. Syllables 2 to 4 of the second pada cannot be a ragana. Syllables 5 to 7 of the second pada must be a yagana. This enforces an iambic cadence. Normal form. Syllables 5 to 7 of the first pada must be a yagana. Variant forms. The 4th syllable of the first pada is heavy. In addition, one of the following is permitted: vipula. Syllables 5 to 7 are anagana. Bha vipula. Syllables 2 to 7 are bha ganas. Ma bha ganas with a caesura in between. Ma vipula. Syllables 2 to 7 are ma ganas with a caesura after the 5th. Ra vipula. Syllables 5 to 7 are a ragana following a caesura. Noteworthy is the avoidance of an iambic cadence in the first pada. By comparison, syllables 5 to 7 of any pada in the Old Vedic Anustubh is typically a yagana, or a dijambus. An example of an Anustubh stanza which fails the classical requirements of a shloka is from the Shatapada Brahmana Asandavati Danyadam Rukmanam. Haritas Rajamabadnidas Vamsarongam Devebhaya Janamaja Inasandavat Janamaja, bound for the gods, a black-spotted, grain-eating horse, adorned with a golden ornament and with yellow garlands. A shloka, states Munir Williams, can be any verse, a stanza, a proverb, saying, The shloka and Anustubh meter has been the most popular verse style in classical and post-classical Sanskrit works. It is octosyllabic, next harmonic to Gayatri meter that is sacred to the Hindus. A shloka has a rhythm, offers flexibility and creative space, but has embedded rules of composition. The Anustubh is present in Vedic texts, but its presence is minor, and Trishtubh and Gayatri meters dominate in the Rig Veda, for example. A dominating presence of shlokas in a text is a marker that the text is likely post-Vedic. The shloka structure is embedded in the Bhagavad Gita, the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, the Puranas, Smritis, and scientific treatises of Hinduism such as Sushruta Samhita and Karika Samhita. The Mahabharata, for example, features many verse meters in its chapters, but an overwhelming proportion of the stanzas, 95%, are shlokas of the Anustubh type, and most of the rest are tristubhs.